Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So this video right here is it's kind of a response video, man, to my man Ingram out there in the UK. Go subscribe to his channel, BWTM Online TV, I think it is, and then he has a BWTM Sports. But you guys know Ingram, BWTM. Now I'm driving right now, so I'll try to get to you guys in the comment section. You guys come in. Hopefully my service doesn't mess up here. But anyways, man, my man Ingram came out with a video the other day. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But he wanted me to. He was asking my opinion about the video that he created, and it was about his eagerness to see Undisputed. Now, for those of you that's been following me on my first channel and this channel, you guys know I've been talking about Undisputed, man, since 2009, 2010, when the Klitschko brothers were had all the straps. And I remember actually doing a damn collab video with Calix Boxing, and me and him was talking about if Vladimir should fight Vitali or should just one of them retire so we can just have, you know, have Undisputed. Because at that time it was really like 1A and 1B. And I'm not really a fan of 1A, 1B. I like just who's the best, not who are the two best, just who's the best. I understand they're brothers. That's a different story. All right, cool. So that's how long I've been talking about Undisputed. All right. Now with this crop, this new wave of guys, Joshua, Wilder, Parker, bring those guys up, Charles Martin, because those were the title holders, Tyson Fury after Klitschko, right? So I was always, you know, advocating for undisputed, man, as quickly as possible. All right. I actually made a video where I thought when the smoke clears, it's going to be Wilder and Joshua for Undisputed. Hell, that could possibly still happen. All right. But as of right now, Ruiz has all the titles. So it never was about Wilder, Joshua. Those just happen to be the guys with the straps. You know what I mean? Well, even when Parker had it, whoever it is for Undisputed, man. Yes, I'm a Wilder fan, but I'm also a Tyson Fury fan. I'm an AJ fan. I'm a Ruiz. I'm a fan of the division, period. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just whoever ends up Undisputed, that's just who that is. Hell, if it was Dominic Brazil versus Andy Ruiz Jr. for Undisputed, then that's who it is for Undisputed. You take what I'm saying? But Ingram, I pretty much agree with you, man. Now, some of you may say, well, Mr. Boxing, you said that you wanted to see Wilder versus Tyson Fury when, you know, after that first fight, and it was, well, after their fight, because it was a draw. Well, yeah, I wanted a draw. I wanted the draw cleared up. Plus, I knew that AJ had a date scheduled, and it was going to be Jarrell Miller. So I just went on with, you know, a fight I would like to see Wilder in, which is a rematch with Fury, because it ended in a draw. Regardless of who you think won, it ended in a draw. All right, you go look on BoxRec or anywhere where their record is posted, and they have 0 losses, Fury and Wilder, but they have a draw. All right, so that's just what it is. So I would just do videos on what fights we're getting. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I mean, look, y'all, if you've been doing videos for 9-10 years on the platform and you've been undisputed, and the shit never happens, I mean, it just gets to a point where it's like you're preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that want to, we just never get it, regardless of, you know, for whatever reason, man. It just hasn't happened. We haven't had an undisputed heavyweight champion since 1999. I don't know if people just don't give a fuck, or they forgot, or it just doesn't mean much to them, or it's just worthless belts. I don't know. But to me, I want undisputed. Last undisputed fight we had was in 1999. We had back-to-back fights between Lennox and Evander Holyfield. All right, I know some of you were well aware of this. Probably watched both of the fights. Probably attended some of the fights. Some of you were probably 5 years old, 6 years old when that happened. Whatever it is, you know what I mean. But that's what. So I agree with Ingram, man. Look, to me, I don't feel sorry for Luis Ortiz if he didn't get a title shot again. He got his title shot. He came up short. Dillian White, I wouldn't feel sorry for Dillian White for not getting his WBC title shot, because he's been #1 rated, not the mandatory, but just the #1 rated heavyweight WBC. Feel sorry for him and let him fight for the WBC crown or see Undisputed. I want to see Undisputed. Do I feel sorry for Pulev if he doesn't get his IBF shot or see Undisputed? I want to see Undisputed. You know what I mean? Plus Pulev had it. Shit, he had a shot at Vladimir. You know, came up short. You know what I mean? So I'm not feeling sorry for none of the guys that should get the a title shot at the whatever sanctioning body that they are rated in. Man, I want to see undisputed. Um, and also agree with something Ingram's saying, man. Maybe Luis Ortiz should, I'm kind of winking right now, but hint, hint, take a, come up with some type of injury, and get paid some step aside money, man. You know what I mean? Just to allow this undisputed out. Now Al Heyman has all the belts, you know what I mean? So maybe Al Heyman can work some of his magic. If there's any time to work some magic, man, if there's any time to work some magic, let it be now. Now, I know some of you are gonna say, no, Mr. Boxing, AJ has a rematch clause and they'll get sued and go to court and all, this is where Al Heyman needs to try to work some magic. I know Eddie Hearn is very stubborn. Like immediately after the fight with Ruiz and AJ, he was saying rematch. You know what I mean? He even mentioned the UK. I know he's came out with interviews after, but to tell you the truth, yo, I haven't even listened to really any Eddie Hearn's interviews after the fight. So could he have said something after? Possibly, but I don't really go checking for his interviews like that. You dig what I'm saying? So I know that he wants his guy to get the immediate rematch. And I know a lot of you keep saying stuff like, you know, he wasn't himself, and I'm talking about Joshua, he wasn't himself, and so on and so forth. Well, whether he was himself or not, he got his ass whooped. You dig what I'm saying? And this is what I think. You can have Ruiz versus Wilder for undisputed, and I've been saying this for a while too. Sometimes, man, we just gotta establish who is the real number one contender. That's why I want undisputed so bad. The sanctioning bodies can work together, come together, get an undisputed champion, and then let's figure out who is the real number one contender. I don't, I already hate the fact that there can be 4 champions in one division, but then 4 number one contenders. I understand because there's 4 sanctioning bodies, 4 title holders. They all have their individual, number one contender. I know that, but just the concept of this shit just irritates me as a boxing fan, and I've been irritated for decades about this. Different, champions in the same division, different number one contenders in the same. It just sounds ridiculous, man. I love the sport, but that concept just sounds totally ridiculous. People say, oh, but it adds parity. No, but you can have parity without 4 different champions. You know what I mean? You can still have parity, meaning there's competition, regardless whether you have a belt or not. But we need to establish undisputed, and then to establish who's the undisputed number one contender. You know what I mean? So Pulev should be fighting the Dillian Whites. Luis Ortiz should be. Look, Tyson Fury can run around with his claim to lineal, but there's no title for the lineal. Like there's no it's just a claim. You dig what I'm saying? So he needs to be fighting as well to establish himself as well, so he can actually fight for undisputed with the guys that have the straps. You dig what I'm saying? So Ortiz and White should be fighting Pulev and all these guys that have these number one rankings, or even if they're fucking mandatory, man. Like we need to establish undisputed and then really establish who's the number one contender. You know what I mean? 4 number one contenders. That just sounds ridiculous, man, to me. But I would love to see undisputed, man. That's what I want. So I really haven't made a video about what I want. I just been making videos about what we're getting. You know what I mean? And we're getting a Joshua Ruiz rematch. That's what I'm assuming. And we're getting Wilder versus Ortiz rematch. And Tyson Fury says he's going to fight again in September, October. He didn't really specify who. I'm hearing Jarrell Miller. I know Jarrell. I've heard Bob Arum say some nice things about Jarrell Miller. So it's making everybody feel as if that's who he may be signing next. I haven't seen any news about that's where he's going to be, but hearing rumors about that. So if Tyson Fury didn't specify when next year, he didn't say first quarter, he didn't say the summer, he didn't say the end of next year, he just said next year. So next year can be, like I said, first quarter, or it can be fucking December of next year. I have no idea what Tyson Fury's plans are. Seems that as if Tyson Fury, great outbox. Well, you guys are. I'm not about to rehash how I feel about Tyson Fury. If you guys been following me enough, you know how I feel about Tyson Fury. However, it seems as if he is just happy being in his space right now. He's just happy claiming the lineal, and he is happy letting everybody else do their thing while he does his thing. and he's in his own world. You dig what I'm saying? Uh, so while he's in his own world, let him be in his own world. And while he's in his own world, you can have Wilder versus Ruiz, man, for undisputed. Just I hope not Eddie Hearn, but Al Hammond can work something out. I know Eddie Hearn will, fight for it, and I haven't read the contract for Ruiz and Joshua going into their first fight. I'm not sure how many of you have, but I know they want that rematch. But I don't think that rematch is a good idea. I mean, not immediately. And I know people and that's so funny. Look, he meaning Joshua could possibly go in there and beat Ruiz in a rematch. That possibly could happen. And people like to bring up examples of when Lennox Lewis was able to turn the tide and things like that. But what they don't bring up examples of is the examples of people going to rematches and getting their ass whooped again. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like when you bring up examples of guys that have, turned the tide and was able to win the rematch, also bring up examples of guys getting their ass whooped in a rematch. You know what I mean? Like Floyd Patterson getting blown out against Sonny Liston, or Sonny Liston getting beat by a young Cassius Clay twice. You dig what I'm saying? Or Joe Frazier going in there trying to fight Big George again. Although some of these rematches were not immediate, but what I'm saying is, for every example you can come up with a guy winning the rematch that lost the first fight, I can come up with an example of a guy getting his ass thoroughly whooped in the second fight. You dig what I'm saying? There's a lot, and that's a different story. You know what I mean? If he wants to take the immediate rematch, you think he wasn't himself or whatever it was, hey, so be it, man. Go in there and do what you got to do. You dig what I'm saying? But he cannot afford to lose this one. I think they should have Joshua. If I was Eddie Hearn, I'll let Joshua come back and fight like an AJ-Ruiz, somebody that's in the sanctioned body ranking. I'm not saying find some unranked dude some obscure guy that probably me and people that follow the division like me know of, but like an AJ-Ruiz or Andre Fedosov or somebody like that. There's more names you can put out there, all right? But and then have it to where, you know what, Joshua wouldn't fight Ruiz next, but he'll have probably the next shot at Wilder and Ruiz. So then you'll have a shot at the undisputed champion, and then let them fight, and then so let Joshua fight the winner. We'll let Joshua take his fight, some type of interim fight, and then fight the winner out of Ruiz and Wilder. And then since Tyson Fury's in his own world anyways, and he believes he's the man that beat the man, and he's the real champ, and all those are just worthless straps in there, fine, cool. Then let that take care of itself, and then maybe Tyson Fury can fight the winner out of all those other fights that I was just talking about. You know what I mean? But hey, man, I guess that's probably too much like right. And this is why I don't really do too many videos like this about what I want, because I've been wanting this since I've been on YouTube just talking about it. Not just even off YouTube, but just on YouTube. I've been wanting the undisputed for 10 years. So yeah, I've been wanting it for 10 years here on YouTube. You know what I mean? So that's why I really haven't done a video about what I want. You know what I mean? But yeah, BWTM, man, I would love that fight, man. Right when Ruiz beat Joshua, I was like, man, I want to see Ruiz versus Wilder for undisputed. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And then I started hearing about rematch clauses, and we're going to exercise the rematch. You know what I mean? So once that was said, I was just like, oh, well shit, guess we ain't getting that. But you never know what Al Hammond, though, man. That dude can pull some tricks out his bag, man. So shit, hopefully he can. And I say let him fight in September on that Mexican holiday. I think that'd be dope. You know what I mean? And I think Andy Ruiz, he's getting a lot of support from Mexicans and, Mexican Americans, however you want to put it, man. But Mexican fans, Mexican fan base. And I think they would definitely come out to support him. And look, man, he meaning Andrew Ruiz Jr., I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Deontay Wilder. Let's just break that down real quick. Now, I will say this, and I'm not just saying it because it's Deontay Wilder and it so happened to be his best punch is a right hand. Go back and watch my Andrew Ruiz, Joseph Parker, I think it was called like Road to the Championship or Part 1 or something, or Road to the Title or some title that I named it. And you hear me in that video say there's one punch that Andrew Ruiz just cannot get out the way of. Now, he counters back really fast, Sometimes he can slip it, but it's a punch that I'll always see him get hit with. And what was it? Drum roll, a right hand. You know what I mean? Dimitrenko actually landed some good right hands. Just Andy has a good fucking chin, man. He can fight through it, and he counters right away. He gets clipped. He counters you right away with 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. You know what I mean? I've seen Rafael Zambunu Love land some good right hands, snapped his head back. Ruiz kept coming forward on him. When Joshua got up, no, I'm lying to you. When Ruiz got up from being dropped by Joshua with that left hook, right when he got up, what was the first punch that Joshua landed on Ruiz? Just guess. A good ass right hand. So that's a punch that he gets hit with, man. You know what I mean? So, and until I see otherwise, man, and this is me seeing this, all right? Until I see otherwise, it's just hard for me to think right now, as of right now, that somebody gets hit with right hands from Wilder and they're just going to be okay. Now, I did see Luis Ortiz take some good right hands, he even pounded his gloves together after Wilder hit him with some good right hands, and he was able to come back and come forward. Then as the shit started to wear on and those right hands started to accumulate, then he started getting hurt with them damn right hands. Bermane Stiverne in the first Wilder fight, he got hurt, had to tackle Deontay Wilder. He was able to take some good right hands in that first fight against Deontay Wilder, man. You know what I mean? He ended up with a fucked up, was he dehydrated and had a concussion or something? He was lumped up afterwards, but he was able to take it. You know what I mean? But if your bet is going in there and just, hey, I'm going to hope I can take some right hands, that's from Deontay Wilder. I guess we'll see about that. But one thing that I think Ruiz has an advantage over Wilder, I think he's a better inside fighter, and he's more comfortable, and he knows how to fight tall fighters. That wasn't no fluke what happened June 1st. And Ruiz always fight. The only thing I can say that I never seen in that fight with AJ was Ruiz get up off his ass and win the fight. I never seen him get knocked down before. But as far as his approach, his technique, the way he was fighting the fight, that wasn't no fluke. That was Andrew Ruiz. He fought like that all the time. He fought like that before that fight against Dimitrenko. He tried to fight. He fought that style of fight against Joseph Parker. Parker just was smart enough to move. You know what I mean? Move and create distance. He wasn't going to get in there and try to bang with him like that. And even that fight was a debatable fight. I had a 6-6 at the end. Some people had Ruiz edging it, and I know some people that had Parker winning it. You dig what I'm saying? So, Andrew Ruiz knows how to fight tall fighters. This isn't new to him, man. When I interviewed him before the Parker fight, and I have that clip on my YouTube page, and I actually uploaded the clip when he talked about specifically that. I re-uploaded about a week ago. The name of that video is I think it's Andrew Ruiz uses Holyfield and Chavez Sr.'s method, or something. It's something like that, something named like that with Holyfield and Chavez. Because in that clip, he was saying that he took a lot away from Holyfield and Chavez. He also said he grew up, liking Mike Tyson as well. But and what he was talking about was going to these dudes' body. He said that they're all stiff and muscle bound. It damn near felt as if he was talking about Anthony Joshua back then, but just stiff and muscle bound, and they all head hunt. You know what I mean? So he has the remedy to beat these guys, man. And I think if he gets close to Wilder, if he can have a chin similar to what Duhaupas was able to have, because Duhaupas went deep in that fight with Wilder, but I think Ruiz is a way better fighter on the inside than Duhaupas. Duhaupas put the high guard up, really wasn't moving his head as much. His plan was just put the high guard up, bite down on my mouthpiece as hard as I can and tense up as hard as I can, and then try to get in and land some shots after Wilder gets done throwing. I see Ruiz letting 4, 5s, and 6s go, man. You know what I mean? And Wilder, with his elusive, the way he fights with his guard kind of dangling a little bit, I think Ruiz can handle him on the inside, y'all. I'm just being real. Now, if Ruiz can't find a way in past that jab and that right hand, he's just on the outside getting picked off all night, then he's going to get knocked out. You know what I mean? But if he can, he's going to get hit with the right hand, because he always gets hit with right hands. That's what he gets hit with, is right hands. He's going to have to do a good job of kind of like what he was doing with Dimitrenko, where he was putting the guard up, and AJ putting the guard up. He puts his guard up and he can kind of knock your shot. He keeps his he keeps his hands in front of him, in front of his face, but he kind of can parry and kind of pick your shots off as you're throwing them. He can kind of knock them and pick them off slightly, just kind of block them and deflect them, and then he likes to counter right away after that. So if he can find a way to take Wilder's right hand away, man, I think Wilder may have some trouble, man. And it would not surprise me not one bit if Ruiz is able to beat him. Not one bit. Why? Because like I said, he knows how to fight tall fighters. He doesn't go in there guessing, and I think this may work. The dude has been the shorter guy majority of the time, pretty much through the amateurs all up until now. He's always been the fat guy, shorter reach, against the taller, muscular, rangier heavyweights. He's born and bred to do this. This is what he is. You know what I mean? Some fighters don't know who and what they are. Andrew Ruiz knows who and what he is. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters do as well, but there's some fighters they don't know what they are in the ring, or who they are in the ring, what style they should use, or what style that they should favor. You know what I mean? But in a nutshell, yeah, man, I would love to see. But Wilder does have a good inside uppercut, but it's gonna take more than just some singles, man. It's gonna take more than singles to beat Ruiz on the inside. You know what I mean? And what happens when Wilder's rib cage gets beat? I mean, the dude is a tall, slender heavyweight, man. It's not like he's 270 pounds with the 6'7". Wilder's a tall, slender guy, man, and he's human too, y'all. You dig what I'm saying? So what happens when his rib cage is getting beat with 4, 5s, and 6s and 3s and 4s repeatedly? You know what I mean? How would his legs hold up after that? Would his hands start to drop even more? Who knows? That's why it would be intriguing to see Wilder in a fight like that with somebody that can actually get inside and then work. You know what I mean? Not just get inside, but can get inside and work. And you guys seen when, what's the boy name that got sparked out? Dominic Brazil. When Wilder landed the right hand and hurt him, and this before Brazil went down, Brazil just threw over a damn right hand that caught Wilder on his head, and it kind of made Wilder back up. You know what I mean? Wilder kind of went wild, and he got caught with a right hand from Brazil. Brazil started just winging right hands, and it backed Wilder up. You know what I mean? And that's a scenario that I think we can, where he doesn't hurt and he stumbles, he'll start his reaction is to start punching. You know what I mean? A quick ass counter and hurt Wilder, and that's what started it. You know what I mean? So little quick subtle things like that to catch Wilder in between his punches, man. I think Ruiz can do it. I really think he can do it, man. The only reason why I never have Ruiz in my top 10 when I was doing my rankings, and what was that? I just came out with my top 25 rankings like last week, but before that, the last rankings I did was like in 2016, and always had Ruiz in like the 11 through 15. And the only reason why I had him 11 through 15, which I explained in my new top 25 videos, because he would just be inactive. You know what I mean? Even after the Parker fight, he was just like he went inactive and shit. So you just never knew with Ruiz, man. Like, he's active, he's not active. Then when he did come back, he'll fight somebody who was like a journeyman. Then he's inactive. He never got like a big fight. And but with Ruiz, man, he wanted to be the first Mexican champion. That was his goal, to be the first Mexican champion. So I'm curious to see, will he have some new goals? What do you mean, Mr. Boxing, with new goals? To retain his title, to be the first Mexican champion to make some successful title defenses. Will it be a new goal, or does he feel relieved that he accomplished this goal? You dig what I'm saying? And I know people are probably gonna say, "Oh, but Mr. Boxing, why would he want to fight Wilder? He won't make no money." I'm just talking about undisputed. All that money talk, whatever. I'm talking about undisputed. That's what I want. Is undisputed. Now, will we get it? We ain't got it in 20 years, man. So if we do, great. At this point, I just want good fights. If we, if I can get some good fights, I like rematches. Ain't nothing wrong with rematches. Some of the greatest fights in history are rematches. Some of the greatest fights are some of the trilogies at heavyweight. You know what I mean? So long as I get good fights, I'll be good. But I want undisputed. But hey, I've been wanting undisputed for 20 years. You know what I mean? And been talking about it 9, 10 years here on YouTube. So yeah. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. 44 people in the house, only 18 thumbs up. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, man. Let me see. Not Raji was good. Tommy Temper was good. James Daggs, what it do? Eddie Salsa. He says it's been too long to not have an undisputed. Yeah, man, been 20 years. My man, official AJ, what's good, bro? Man, Bobby says, what's up, family? Been too long. We need an undisputed. Yeah, it's been way too long, man. Eddie Salsa says, you wait. Usyk could jump in and snatch all the titles. Well, first, I've seen Usyk fight some big guys. Seen him fight at super heavyweight in the was it the World Series of Boxing? I seen him fight Junior Fa and Joe Joyce and was it Matteo Madugno? He fought a few guys in there. So I've seen him fight in there. Just want to see how he fights, at the pro level in a real fight. I know the Takum fight was on, then it got taken off. So when he gets to fighting, we'll see. You know what I mean? AJ-Ruiz definitely put it into that whole notion of there's going to be no guys that are 6'1", 6'2", to 6'3" to ever win a title. Well, he went in there and beat the hell out of Anthony Joshua. So put it into that only the 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 6'7" dudes are going to be the dominant fighters. You know what I mean? He put an end to that shit quick. Let me see. Simon stuff, he says, so needs to rematch him to right or wrong, but when AJ loses to Ruiz, you scrap by that to Wilder. What? Hold on. He says, so needs to rematch him to right a wrong, but when AJ loses to Ruiz, you scrape by that to Wilder needs to fight Ruiz. What a load of bullocks. Okay, I don't think you know the difference between a draw. Okay, Wilder and Fury, KC Weidman, was a draw that everybody is split on. That was a draw. Anthony Joshua got his ass whooped. Do you not understand what I'm talking about here? Yes, I wanted Wilder to rematch Fury because Fury and Wilder, not just Wilder, but Fury also got a draw. Okay, get off the Wilder. Look, man, why can't some of y'all just talk as boxing fans? Why does shit got to turn into, like we're talking as fans, yo? Wilder and Fury got a draw. Joshua got his ass whooped. Yes, he can still right his wrong, but I want undisputed. It's not about Wilder and Joshua. It's about undisputed. Do you not understand that? It's about undisputed. So whether it was fucking Brazil versus Ruiz, I want undisputed. If it was fucking Charles Martin versus Dave Allen, I want undisputed. You want to see Anthony Joshua get his get back. That's what you want. Great. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I want undisputed. There's a difference between a draw and a systematic, thorough, clean, pristine ass whooping, which what he got. Damn, man, y'all just will not get over this whole UK USA shit, man. Andy or Andre Gardner says, in all honesty, Wilder fighting Ruiz is a cherry pick. Nah, Wilder. Okay, that's your opinion, bro. But Wilder versus Ruiz is for undisputed because Ruiz has shown me that he is a damn good heavyweight because he went tooth and nail with Joseph Parker, who was looked at once upon a time as a top 5 heavyweight till he lost his title and lost 2 fights in a row. And then he fought Anthony Joshua and whooped his ass. So to me, there's nothing cherry pick about this. And he knows how to fight big heavyweights. Does this mean Andrew Ruiz is going to go on a fucking 25 fight win streak? No. It just means he beat the hell out of Anthony Joshua and he had a close fight with Parker that could have went either way. So in my opinion, that's a top heavyweight right there. But hey, man, that's just my opinion. Let me see here. Blackout says, what's up, Mr. Box? What's good, bro? BW, oh, there he goes right there. BWTM Online TV. What's good? What's good, champ? Andre Gardner says, why wait till a fighter who he clearly has all the advantages over to pursue undisputed? I don't want to see undisputed unless it's Wilder versus AJ. Nah, I want to see undisputed by the motherfuckers that got the titles. Yes, I did want to see, it's okay. With me, y'all, It was about Wilder and AJ when Wilder had the WBC and AJ had the other 3 straps. Then it was about that. To me, it's about who got the titles. It's not so much about Wilder AJ. Wilder. Now, I still want to see Wilder AJ because I think it's a damn good fight in the heavyweight division. Just like one day, I still want to see Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller. I still would like to see fucking Luis Ortiz versus Povetkin. There's a whole bunch of fucking fights I still want to see, but I want to see undisputed. Now, some of you want to see undisputed only if it's this guy and this guy. Hey man, so be it. I want to see undisputed by the dudes that got the titles. So again, whether it's whoever you can bring up, if they got the titles, if Luis Ortiz goes in there and beats Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua gets his revenge and beats Ruiz, then I want to see Anthony Joshua versus Ortiz. Undisputed is the motivation. Yeah, and people thought that Anthony Joshua picking Ruiz was a cherry pick too. Then he went there and whooped his ass. Lope Dog says, didn't Wilder say he wants to fight Ortiz, then 2 fights, then Fury? I know he said he wants to fight Ortiz, and then Fury was after. But then I heard, Fury say that he's going to fight again this year, and then they're going to fight next year, or whatever the fuck they said. I'm just going off what I want, bro. So he could have possibly said that. I think the last I heard though, it's Ortiz and then Fury. Then I heard Fury say after the Tom Schwartz fight that another fight was in September, October, and then Wilder next year. He didn't specify when exactly next year, but next year. So I don't know if it's March, fucking September. I have no idea. Madhouse 222, or I'm sorry, Madhouse 2332 says we want the undisputed. Yeah, man, that's what I want. I don't give a fuck who's involved. Right now, it happens to be Wilder and Ruiz. I want undisputed, y'all. Like, how many more decades we got to go without an undisputed champion? How can there be every year there's a reason why we can't get undisputed? Now it's because some fans think, oh, it's not the right people involved for undisputed. What? So the right fighters aren't involved for undisputed? No, it's whoever has the straps. Whoever earned the straps, they fight for undisputed. We can't pick and choose. It's just whoever wins the fights. BWTM Online says Hearn ain't got no power. He sure as hell ain't got no titles. Andre Gardner says now everyone wants undisputed, huh? Laugh out loud, that's crazy. Well, Andre, I'm not sure who you've been following, bruh. I know you've been on my channel. Me and you, we never had no beefs or nothing like that. But, bruh, if you've been following me since 2009, 2010, I've always talked about it to the point where I was saying Vladimir versus Vitaly. I did a fucking, what's my man, Calix Boxing. Me and him did a collab one time. That's on my old channel. Bro, there's heavyweight fans out there that's been wanting undisputed, man, since since Lennox retired, bruh. People wanted undisputed when it was AJ and Wilder. People were talking about undisputed and these dudes need to fight each other when Wilder had one of the straps and Parker had the WBO and AJ had the IBF and WBA. People were talking undisputed when Tyson Fury first won the belt and he jumped in the ring against Deontay Wilder. We were talking it then. Where have you been, Dre? Dre, where have you been, brother? We've been talking about this. It's just the belt's been here and there. They've fucking been playing hot potato. But now that it's now it's only down to 2 guys again, they can get in there and get it on. Hey, y'all got to run, man. I'll read some of this on archives. But I got to run right now, man. I appreciate y'all showing up. I want undisputed. You dig what I'm saying?